Is Lorelia coming to you. Want to discuss the oversimplification of business funding. So let's get into it. So I always like to start these videos with assuming that you do not know who I am and do I have the authority to speak on this topic and conversation. So understand I am not new to the conversation of credit, personal credit and business credit. If you are looking if you're watching this video on YouTube, right here on this channel, you'll see over 600 plus videos on the topic of personal and business credit. So understand I am not new to the conversation of business funding, business credit, personal credit. Now, primarily, I help real estate investors get access to over six figures in funding. And so tonight, I want to really dissect and really do a understanding of what that means to you if in 2023 you decide to go into the marketplace looking for business funding to be able to expand your real estate business, to be able to start your real estate business, or to be able to even build your real estate business. So let's get into it. Now, the reason why I call this the oversimplification of business funding, because there's a lot of misinformation in the marketplace. So as I mentioned to you, I'm not new to this topic. I have been talking about business credit, business funding since 2018. You can see the receipts on my YouTube channel. I have been helping individuals as well. And the reason why I say it's the oversimplification is because many people don't even understand what business funding is. They believe that business funding is a opportunity for you to get a influx of cash or credit or what have you without another source backing it up. Now, what do I mean? A lot of the misinformation that's in the marketplace have people to believe that in order to get access to business funding, all they need to do is have an LLC. And tonight I want to be able to explain to you why that's not going to work. And if you continue chasing your tail, trying to figure out how your LLC is going to get business funding, what's going to happen is you are going to go into 2023 and still be chasing your tail, because it doesn't magically happen like this. Now, I want to break down business funding. And the reason why I want to break it down, because understand business funding is unsecured capital. It can be in the form of credit, it can be in the form of loans, and it can be in the form of lines of credit. The reason why I really want to emphasize unsecured is because you are looking to get access to a source of funding or capital that is unsecured. What does unsecured mean? Unsecured means that it is not backed by any type of asset. It's not backed by by your business. It's not backed by real estate. It is your ability to show a lender that you are credit worthy of getting access to money. The reason why I want to really emphasize that it is unsecured is because it is not. So anything, what decision is a lender going to? They're not going to get gotten done and is in the secretary of where you are doing business from. The reason why I really want to emphasize that is because many magical money one knows about, and that if you are a big windfall of it, it's going to fall into your lap. And the reason why I say this, because many people who are teaching you the case, they want you to believe that you need to have certain credit cards, you need to know certain credit reports that these lenders are pulling from, and all the confusion that is out there. And so the reason why I'm just giving you a tip of the iceberg is because business funding is more than just credit cards. It's more than just credit cards. And that is what most of your experts or your influencers are telling you. They're having you to believe that you are looking to invest in real estate and you're trying to get a business credit card. And I get it, for some people, that is a big accomplishment. If your goal is to get a platinum American Express business card or a Chase Sapphire card, then that's something different than getting access to business funding. That is totally something separate. Business funding is your ability to show a lender that you are credit worthy of getting access to funds, whether they're in the form of credit, whether they're in the form of term loans, whether they're in the form of lines of credit. It is a combination. And the reason why you need to understand that is a combination and that it's unsecured is that it is more difficult to get. It is easier for you to invest in real estate because it is secured by an asset. And for some people who are just starting out, they don't even need to be looking for business funding, because business funding does not mean I don't have no money, my business don't have no money, I have challenged personal credit, and I want some lender to lend me six figures in funding so I could start a business. If you feel like that is you don't have no money, you don't know how to get no money, you don't even know how to get your real estate business started because you're waiting for some business funding, my friend, business funding is not for you. That is why you have experts and influencers who are very good at real estate. Not going to take that away from them. They're rehabbing homes, they're doing Airbnbs, and by all means, that is fine. Just because someone is an expert in real estate don't mean they understand the intricate details of funding, because only amateurs, an influencer, a real estate influencer or a real estate expert can only tell an amateur that. They will tell you that you need to be an expert in real estate and funding too. And my answer to that is you can't do both. There's no way you out there fixing and flipping homes, doing Airbnbs, uh accessing multifamilies, and then you're also understanding and dealing with underwriters on a daily basis when it comes to funding. You can't do both. What these real estate experts and influencers are doing, they are good at real estate and they have been able to accumulate a few cards. But now they can't transfer to you how you're going to leverage this unsecured amount of money to be able to get started in real estate. And that's where the disconnect comes from. because most of them are telling you how to get a business credit card. And even with that, many people are not even in the position to do that. They're not even in a position to get an American Express Platinum card or a Chase Sapphire, because many of them may have just started rebuilding their credit. And with them rebuilding their credit, they came across some information online, and they're in what I call the tier four. That's right, tier four credit card world. You can't go from tier four to tier one credit overnight. It's going to take some time. The same way you can't go from having rebuilding your credit, you got tier four credit cards, and now you think you're going to get some unsecured business funding that's not backed by anything, because remember, it is unsecured. 50,000, 75, 100,000, or what have you. It's not going to happen. So what I teach people is to understand what it is. I get it. Most people don't want to learn. Most people are not doing this game for the long haul. What is really popular now is most people want to get a money grab. What's the fastest way for me to grab some money and be out? Because remember, my expert told me that I can go to this bank, I can go to this credit union, I could do all these moves and get access to all this funding. And what happens is they can't execute the play. Because what your expert didn't tell you is that they're in position to do that. You're not. Because what you don't understand, that line of credit that you're trying to get from that credit union or that bank or what have you, it is unsecured funding. So what type of financial history are you going to share and show the bank that you are credible of getting the funding? Because this is what I tell people. If your goal is to only get a few credit cards, run them up, and rinse and repeat, then anything that I share with you, you're not going to understand. It's going to puzzle you, because I help people play the game the long way. Because I tell people, even in this economy where eggs are what, $8? I don't know. Some states are $8, $6, or what have you. Inflation is changing every day. Lenders are still lending. But see, when you understand what it is that lenders are looking for, funding, access to credit becomes your oyster. But most people don't even understand that, because they're so much in, I'm trying to grab some quick cash. Many of them don't even want to recognize where they are. Most people, for all of their adult life, they have not been a good steward of their credit. Me included. I ain't passing no judgment. Me included. But I also had to understand that if there's some place that I want to get to, I gotta mature some. And it took some time. So the simplification of business funding is that in the marketplace, most people are telling you and teaching you that getting the access is easy. It may be. But understand, it's not simple. It's easy, but it's not simple. And so the fact that you've been told by your experts and your influencers and they're telling you the banks to go to and just have your LLC with the Secretary of State and all this other laundry list that they're telling you, you're wondering why it's not transferring over. I'm doing all this. Thank you. Thank you, JDL. Thank you. I'm doing all this. Got the LLC. I'm doing this. Dun and Bradstreet, this, that, and the other. But I can't get to the cash. What's the disconnect? I'm going to the credit reports. They're telling me. Because you don't understand that you're trying to get access to money that's unsecured. You're trying to I teach people how to do a capital stack. It's a capital stack. It's the ability to get multiple forms of funding. But you got to have something in place. It's not a free money grab. Oh, there's some free money somewhere, and I'm going to tap into it. No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's about having your business set up in the position, as well as, your personal credit plays a large part. Because remember, this is unsecured funding. You're taking an unsecured funding source, which is business funding, and you want to transfer it to a secure funding source, which is real estate. So, personal credit is going to play a part. Because once again, the oversimplification of business funding, your experts and your influencers aren't telling you that personal credit is going to play a part when you don't have no history. They telling you to go to these banks and go to these credit unions and take your LLC paperwork, and a windfall of money is going to fall into your lap. And you see that ain't working. You don't even understand why you can't even get the the Chase Sapphire card or the Platinum American Express. They told you the credit reports. Because what they're not telling you is that depending on where you are, the stage that you are, where you are in terms of credit, in terms of rebuilding credit, if you are in the stage of tier 4 credit, the highest credit trade line you have is $1,500, sis, or bro. Maybe $500, and you think you're gonna get a Chase Sapphire card for $20,000, and you historically have only been able to manage only $1,000. Once again, the oversimplification. The process is simple, but it's not easy because there are multiple steps. Because this is what I tell people. If it was so simple, you go right on Google right now, put in business funding, type it in. Business funding, business credit. You'll get a list, a laundry list of lenders who will lend. Then why is it that everyone ain't getting no money? If it was just that simple, because they're telling you it's simple, and they're even telling you you can do it on your own. And this is what I tell people: you can. You do not need me if your goal is to only get business funding, because you can go right on Google and do that. Whatever credit card you want, you can go on Google and find that. But this is where the disconnect comes from, because most people don't understand that they're trying to get an outcome. The outcome is never funding. That's an easy outcome. You can go right, like I said, you go right on. The outcome is to the ability when it comes to funding and real estate. The outcome is that I really want to invest in real estate. I just want the funding to be a source of that. So if the outcome is just real estate, because real estate investors, and I'm talking about those who are seasoned, they're not really concerned with that whole conversation of, is it personal, is it business, or what have you, because they are looking to execute on their next deal. And they understand that everything is a process and that Rome was not built in a day. But for investors who are newbies, who've never did deals, they're just thinking, I just want business credit. I just want business funding. And they're not focused on the outcome. And since you're not focused on the outcome, that's where the disconnect is, because you really do believe that you need the business funding in order to do the deal. And for some people, they don't need to do that. I've had conversations with people and I've told them, you don't even need to be looking at business funding. With what it is that you want to do, go FHA. Because if the outcome is just real estate, just go FHA. Go FHA. Save the 3.5% or whatever it is. And that's going to be cheaper than you trying to get business funding. Because remember, I told you earlier, business funding is a capital stack. And it's a very highly leveraged play. It's not for the person who don't want to touch their personal credit. Not for them. It's not for the person who just wants their credit, their personal credit, to just sit like a bird on a branch. It's not that. So it's a very highly leveraged play. But if you are an investor who's doing deals and understand the deal flow of what you're doing, you're willing to leverage your personal or what have you to be able to take on a heavy leverage play to get the result and the outcome of what you want in real estate. Because remember, the focus is the outcome. Business funding is, if that's your, if I tell people, if that is really your focus, you're just trying to get American Express Platinum, like I said, a Chase, or whatever card that you feel like this is the ultimate card that you're working for. You don't need me. You don't even need business funding. You don't. But most people don't understand that. And they're thinking business funding is a pot and a windfall of money that's just sitting to the side. And I just want to, I just want to grab the bag. It's going to be under my LLC. So I could just blow it and then rinse and repeat. And I've did videos about this and I've said, the landscape of credit is changing. Mark my word, you heard it here first. Ever since 2020 and the pandemic and what happened with PPP, there's going to be a lot of changes with your ability to be able to access credit. Now is not the time. If you're really trying to position yourself to get access to deals that are coming down the line, remember, economics is in cycles. For some of you, this may be your first recession. This is my second recession as an adult self-employed. I've been through a few. But as an adult self-employed, I tell people my first entry, my first win in real estate happened during the 2008 real estate crash, where some people tell the story they lost everything in real estate. My story was different. I was able to capitalize off of that. So in terms of being a business owner, now is not the time. Now is not the time to really play around because you're going to lose out. The credit landscape, as we know it, is going to change. I talked about AI, and I've talked about how AI is changing everything in when it comes to credit and funding. I want to do a whole separate video on that. There is no real estate influencer expert or person you're watching on YouTube or whatever is smarter than AI. So don't get yourself caught up in a jam listening to people who they're gonna fast track you, or they got the fast track way of getting some fast and some quick money. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, mark my word, it's not going to work. And any economic opportunities that come down the line, you're gonna miss out. So understand what business funding is. And the reason why I did this video is I want to sum it up with this. My goal for this year is to really break things down to the basics, especially in terms of if you're looking to, if you're looking to play the long game. So next week, I am going to be doing a series of classes. They're free classes. I recommend that you sign up if you go to www.diycredithub.com. I recommend you sign up if you want the replays, because I'm going to be doing a deeper dive. I'm going to be sharing resources that I share with my clients to get them the high funding approvals. Now, what I will tell you, what this is not, this is not how to get certain credit cards. What credit cards do the lenders pull? That's not that. Those are tactics. Those are tactics. There's no strategy with that. That's just a tactic. Let's try this tactic and see if it works. What I'm sharing with people is to really understand. And I'm doing I'm telling you, it's going to be basic. For some people, it is going to be basic information because it's going to have you to do a deeper dive with what it is that lenders look at when it comes to your personal credit. So it's almost, and I tell people, that's why I said the DIY Credit Hub is because it's to teach you the essentials. It's the foundation of your credit report, even for those who have maybe rebuilt their credit. I'm going to really tell you, I'm going to go really deep into FICO. Because, see, there are some people that's still being told, even in 2020, that you only got 3 credit scores: Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. And if your mentor, if your influencer, if your teacher, if your expert or whatever is teaching you credit and still telling you you have 3 credit scores, that, my friend, is one reason why you can't get access to funding, because you don't have 3, you have 28. And I'm going to go into that. I'm going to be doing a deeper dive and breaking down FICO. Because understand, this is for if you want to play the long game, because your personal credit matters. Your personal credit matters. It doesn't, they're lying to you. If your influencer is doing what did I say, fix and flips and Airbnbs and they're not on the phone with underwriters trying to assist you with getting funding. The two can't work. They'll tell you that they are doing that the two can work, but you can only tell an amateur that. Anyone who has any experience, no, you can't do them both. So once again, this is Lorelia. As I mentioned to you, my goal is to come again and do another video. And I want to talk about some of the things that I had discussed tonight, going further into what I discussed. But once again, if you're interested in that masterclass, go to www.diycredithub.com. Until the next video, good night.